it's Skillbyte here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get, well, you can't see much of it, but I broke off the head of a bolt that comes in from the bottom. And I do have access, thankfully, to the back. And I've already tried, so I've sprayed it with normal things, you know, PB Blaster, which is an actual penetrating oil. I mean, I've literally sprayed it for days, had it sitting. I've tapped on it. I used vice grips trying to get it off. No luck. So now I am doing the double nut. So the way this works is you put a nut on to the bolt, then you have a second one here, and this second one you tighten it up against the first like so. All right, now I'm going to turn them. I'm going to turn the top. They're locked together, so when I turn this top one in, it's going to turn against this bottom one, which will force the bolt itself to turn. 6-point socket. I guess I actually turn in the whole thing. So yeah, okay, so that's not gonna work. What we're gonna have to do is turn it the other way using just the bottom one. Part of the trick is you can only turn the one. If you're turning both, they're just going to both turn. You got to have them locked and make sure you're only on one, and I apparently was on both. Let's try this again. What we're doing is tightening the bolts, the nuts together, so that the bottom one theoretically won't turn. And sometimes this works, sometimes not so much. Come on now. All right, we got a few more options. However, we're now getting kind of hardcore. So no luck there. We got two choices now. Drill it, or you can do what I'm doing. I put a nut on here and used a wire brush, got those clean, got a ground under here that I've cleaned up. I'll have to paint it when I'm done, and I would have liked that farther, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little weld right there, weld that nut to the bolt, and we'll see if it'll pop off or if it just breaks and I end up having to drill it anyway. All right, don't look at my welding job. Okay, the nut literally melted on this side, but the good news is vice grips, it's now turning. So heat can definitely help, but when you got a painted surface, you gotta be really careful that you don't burn the paint. Now granted, welding is very hot, but if I did it right, and I'm not a welder, if I did it right, I could have just tacked it in both sides just really lightly, and it wouldn't have, the heat would have been mostly centered. You can see I've got a fair bit of heat. I kept it on there too long. It was really hard to see. Anyway, the point is though, it is now loose and I'll be able to get that out without drilling. So let's just say you don't have a welder, and so you're gonna need to just drill it out. Not that the bolt actually broke. Trying to turn it out. Okay, yes, actually the bolt just broke again. So I am drilling it out. So I'm underneath. I used a punch and I tried to put a little mark, a little indentation in the center. Of course, that didn't work real well because I can't hit it real hard. There's a fender. So I have safety glasses on. I have a drill bit that is much smaller than the bolt. I've already started the hole and I'm just drilling up through here. And I'm going to drill through the bolt past where the nut ends now, and then I'm going to step up the drill bit each time and hopefully won't hit the threads. If I get close to the threads, I'll actually go ahead and take like a chisel or something and try to knock it in, and that might actually loosen it up to get it out. Hopefully you can see that I drilled all the way up through the bolt. Now I'm going to bump the size up and drill back through. Be aware what's on the other side if you're going to be drilling all the way through. If you have really bad luck, yeah, the drill bit broke off. So what had happened is it had screwed itself up in there. I was able to take the hammer and tap it down, and now I'm going to try to use some pliers to unscrew it to get it out. Ended up going to a 3/16. I squeezed it with pliers at the top, and it did collapse, and well, here. And that's what we got just inside the threads. Now I'm going to take a chisel and hammer or a flathead screwdriver and start tapping it in and trying to get it to crumble on the inside here. Oh, and when you're drilling, and if you go up just one size, don't let it pull the bit up, because what happened is it screwed in, and that's why, and then it broke and got stuck. Actually push up a little, but keep it from pulling itself up. Let it drill it out, and also make sure you keep it straight so you're not putting sideways pressure on the bit. So if you have an extractor, now is the time you would put that in, and that might pull it out. Hope you can see it's actually coming out. I got an old trash chisel, and I'm just going around, trying not to mess up the rest of the paint. I'm trying to get it to collapse. If I could shoot it from that side, that would be nice. If I could hit it from this side, that would be really nice. I think that would make a big difference, but I can't, so. Let's try it from above. So now what you got to do is try to chase the threads. I've got an old bolt here. I've made sure that there's no piece of the old bolt still in it, and now from the back side, if you can, you want to run a bolt in, making sure we still got threads and that they still actually work. If they don't, well, you may have to do like a helicoil or something, and that's a whole other video. All right, whew. Hope that was helpful. If so, please like, subscribe, comment. Oh, and some WD-40 will keep your drill bit cool. And good luck with your project.